with those attacks, people said that the real victims were Muslims because they're now going to be victims of racist attacks. And then there was something I saw earlier on the Daily Mail website, which is, of course, the most credible of sources, that said one of the reasons he left the country was with his brother and his dad or something, was because he was getting abuse anyway for being a Muslim.
Oh yeah, send him up to Libya, where he'll get radicalized faster.
Yeah, why not? There was a great there was a lot of speech, like the same speech. BBC did this fantastic piece of totally unbiased journalism where they showed Theresa May's speech on the subject several times. Jeremy Corbyn gave one. No one saw it once. Read on YouTube because he didn't show it, and yet he said the usual platitudes of a politician. And then I watched I was watching Good Morning Britain or whatever the fuck it's called this morning, and Amir Khan was on it. And for those who don't know, Amir Khan is a former light welterweight world champion boxer. He's also a devout Muslim, and he said that these people acting in the name of Islam aren't Muslims, and they give Muslims here a bad name.
They are Muslims.
That he said that what they do is not Islamic or something, and I'm like,
they are fundamentalists.
It's all very much Islamic. Sorry,
they're fundamentalists. So technically, they're more Islamic than he is. They are fundamentalists. So technically, they are more Islamic than he is.
Yeah.
I was like, as much as I respect everything you've achieved, you and your magnificent glass jaw have achieved. I can't. You're talking out of your bottom, mate.
Yeah. Thing is, going back to when I was a kid, back in the 70s and the 60s and before that, yeah, all the way down to the end of the war, the Western Europe, and more especially the United Kingdom, was strong. The only real thing that Islam respects is strength. Now we get and since the late 90s and into the current time, we become weak, and now we're seeing them taking advantage of us in every single way.
I'm wondering how many more times people are going to be okay with the pray for and then the name of the town or country before enough people seem to snap. I mean, I watched a little video earlier of the Polish Prime Minister putting their foot down against the EU because of their some of their rules that the EU are trying to impose, or let's just say it honestly, Angela Merkel is trying to impose.
Yeah,
you mean Führer Merkel?
But Poland are absolutely stalwart on this, and you saw this fantastic image of migrant attacks, and it's all around Poland, and Poland is totally empty.
Oh yeah, I've just seen that on Twitter.
Saw that. I thought it was beautiful.
Haven't the Philippines also spoken about kicking Islam out of it because of what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Sorry, I'm just asking a question in the chat there.
Oh yes, or Laura. Hello, Laura. By the way, just because I want to change the subject, did everyone know? Have you both heard of Emma Solkowitz?
Yes, but I don't know her that well.
For those that don't know, a couple of years ago there was this girl called Emma, and she engaged in coitus with a man, and well, she made a claim, and she decided because that didn't go very far that she would carry the biggest victim of this. She carried the biggest victim of it all around the campus with her. That poor defenseless mattress that I once followed on Twitter and followed me back. Yeah, and then she went on to reenact the aforementioned act, which essentially was a really crappy porno. I mean, that was piss poor by any standard. Well, she's back in the news because she's doing this. She's doing this channeling her rage through BDSM art piece, which tackles the question of the value of art under the Trump administration.
For fuck's sake!
I'll get some pictures because I think this is magnificent.
It's
But yeah, she gets tied up, and this is supposed to send a message. I don't know, is it contemporary art, or is it just really
Omegon,
weird?
it's rape fantasies. That's what it is. She has fantasies about rape.
She must have a rape fantasy. She must. That must be what it is for her, though, because that's all she does, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's also, it seems, it's. I don't think it's so much happens with working class kids, millennials, but it's like the middle class and higher. Oh Christ! Please put it away. Put it away. Put it away now.
Ah!
Oh, I've got more. Oh, I've got more. Oh, there it is.
Hell.
There's the money shot. He's also whipping the belts out as well.
What the fuck did I just... What did I join back to?
Oh, hang on, look.
Fucking
Team
hell.
Emma. I look so proud.
You know what? I have a theory with these people, right? They do these sorts of weird, shitty art projects, and they don't really create anything else of value because they fucking can't, because they're just talentless fucks.
Yeah. Like,
That's really it.
It seems more like the middle class and upper class
Sorry, go on.
millennial kids. They've been overprotected all through the childhood. They've never had any conflict, and as a result, they haven't grown up emotionally. They cannot handle the real world. I think this is what we're
one
saying.
of those instances where I'm more interested not so much in her, even though she's just crying for attention. I want to know what happened to the guy that she falsely claimed.
Oh, you'll never hear about what happened to him.
Successful. I do think those pictures were pretty gag worthy.
Disturbing, disturbing.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to art nowadays, I mean, I heard somewhere that there was a prize-winning art project, which was just somebody strewed some tissue papers over the floor.
Oh my god, that's so deep.
They haven't even used them. They're just.
I know that. I know that there was one person, one feminist, who I think it was a can of beans. She was just, opening a can of beans, and people were watching it. And I remember that there was a group of singers, and they just screamed for a minute or so. And there was music.
They were Andrew Marr, weren't they? They were on Andrew Marr, and they sung this song, and they're just screaming the whole time.
Yeah. Oh God!
I was like, "What?" I've woken up, and I'm like, what? I'm going back to bed. Fuck this.
It just makes you wonder, are they just doing this just to test the limits of, what is music, what is gender, what is this, what is that, etc.?
No. They were unleashing their inner harpy. That's what they were doing. They were unleashing their inner harpy and just wailing into the microphone with no intelligence whatsoever.
This proves something. I mean, they're going about checking male privilege, but they get praised for crap like this. They do what the hell they want. It proves. I mean, all the evidence points towards, at least in Western society, female privilege, unearned female privilege as well.
I'd say so, but I think it's good to note that I think that biologically women are not privileged. Like, for example, periods, body, muscles, etc. But societally, judging by laws, judging by the initiatives to get women into different things, and also socially as well, women are definitely privileged.
Well, the term is usually used. The term usually used is protected class.
Yeah.
That is no offense to you, of course, but that it does seem to hold true.
Yeah, I don't
and it's quite
it is
insulting to
true.
women as well.
If you look through the history of at least the Western world, women have never been oppressed as as a gender. Even in societies like the Romans, yes, out in public, the Roman woman was had no real rights under law. But in the home, especially if you read the dramas and that from ancient Rome, they ruled the homes with an iron rod. It was the mother, then the daughters, and then the fathers and sons behind the doors.
So you're talking in relative terms then? No, absolute there.
Yeah, men have always had overt power. Women have always had covert power.
That's too deep for my poor little mind to understand.
Well, that's something one of my history teachers back in the 70s taught us, and this was a female history teacher as well, who'd gone to university in the 60s.
Traitor.
Okay, I've got something I can share. That isn't going to totally trigger the fuck out of Bennehh. Here we go, and I'll present to everyone as well. This image with that tweet in the top corner.
Uh-huh.
This is
I was just saying that.
This is a common occurrence where you just have feminists who are like, oh my god, there are no female characters in X. But for people who have actually been, fans or nerds of the franchise or the genre even for fucking years, we know that to be false. And, for example, there aren't any female protagonists in video games, or there are barely any. Granted, there are more male protagonists, but there are quite a few female protagonists.
Oh, yeah.
And anyone who thinks otherwise is either fucking retarded, to be honest.
When have we ever had
Or
a strong
they don't
female
like
character who could fight as strong as the men? Xena the Warrior Princess?
Ripley?
Yeah. Ripley had an exoskeleton, so she don't count as much.
Even in the first film. Even in the first film, Ripley was the strongest character there.
Yeah.
And you can tell from the way Aliens played out, it wasn't a feminist piece. It was just a good movie written intelligently.
Well,
I never got into
character.
I couldn't get into those films.
What did you say, Viper?
No, what they did was they wrote a character. They didn't try and force any ideology down our throats. That's all they did.
Because you're right. But that's something that always gets me whenever they get some female actor interviewed about her latest film. She always, it's about time we had a strong female character in movies. I'm sitting there thinking, that's all we fucking get.
It's like so it's like okay, so the best two examples I can think of: the constant mentioning of having the first black James Bond or the first female Doctor on Doctor Who, neither of which I care about, as long as it works, as long as the story works with the character. If you have a female Doctor, that's fine. I love Doctor Who. I don't mind. I really don't. But if it works, but if they're constantly pushing it for the sake of saying we need to have a female Doctor, it just feels a bit shallow. And if the stories are weak, like they've been for the last few seasons on Doctor Who, it's not going to support make the character look strong at all. And that's what you want.
I don't think it'll work. And the black James Bond is ridiculous because it's James Bond. He's an established character. He's
Yeah, see, that's not something I was having this discussion with. I was having this discussion with Melody Dickens about this, and something that sort of she wants some female Doctor. I don't really care enough. I think Doctor Who's going to die soon enough anyway. But with James Bond, I felt no as well because I thought, why bother why force this onto a character for the sake of race when you could just create something else, a different franchise, something there.
That's what I feel about Doctor Who. Why have a female one when you could create a spin-off if it's well written with a female character?
They have brought the Time Lords back, so I'm surprised they haven't considered introducing another Time Lord character. I mean, they've got a female master, which is fine. I mean, it's a harmless master as well. Totally not even. There's no real punch to this version, so it doesn't really
or is
matter.
it the master? Or does she just... I'm just wondering, because John Sims coming back as the Master, so I'm wondering if she just thinks she's the Master.
I have no idea. I honestly don't know yet. I'm 2 episodes behind at the moment, so I need to catch up.
But what's his face,
watching on the
who's leaving as a Doctor Who writer? He basically turned into a feminist an SJW mouthpiece.
Feminist shill, yes.
And
it certainly shows in some of the quality of the writing.
I still want to do a Vlad the Impaler on him because that god awful robot of Sherwood. One of the Capaldi Doctor Who episodes. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm. I feel sorry for Capaldi because he was meant to be the Doctor when Matt Smith was, but Capaldi was busy with the thick of it, and the thick of it was funny, very funny. So we got Matt Smith for 4 or 5 years, 3 seasons, and a few specials, and they all. Some of the stories worked, but the rest of it sucked. But Capaldi could have been. I think he would have been a better Doctor then than he is now with the stories he has.
Yeah, I'll agree. But I did like Matt Smith because he actually, I think he played a good part, and the Doctor he was playing was a lot like the classic Doctors. I think the only letdown in his Doctor was their choice of companions. Amy Pond was one arrogant fucking bitch. Very selfish as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to Yeah, I'll run off with you.
Mind if I just change the topic back to
Go for it.
Kind of talking about before this tangent? I'm just going to put my feminist goggles on and microanalyze what Brianna Wu just did. She is erasing women, which is a form of misogyny. She is ignoring the women who have starred in these different films and erasing their existence because it doesn't suit her narrative. That's very, very sexist and hateful of women.
But then again, she does think that if you drop a rock off the moon, it'll affect the Earth like an atom bomb.
Oh God! You know what? Actually, you know what? I'm making a game, and it revolves around the moon and everything. And I was really, really tempted to make a fucking joke about that in the game. Rather than having this huge death laser, why not just have someone drop a rock off the moon?
That was straight with Star Trek fan fiction where Brianna Wu's moon rocks would be mentioned.
Oh God! Oh, before I forget, thank you, Ichabod. I did see it.
Yes, Ichabod.
You have been noticed by Senpai.
Yes, that's right. I love Star Trek. By the way, just because I heard that mentioned.
Which Star Trek do you love?
Well, not Voyager. I'm not big on. I'm not huge on the original either, but because I grew up on TNG and DS9.
So you liked Star Trek: The Talking Too Much Generation?
Well, in case you haven't noticed from my videos, I like to talk a lot.
Actually, it's been pointed out. It was there was a video some guy did on it, pointed out that Picard is the captain who broke the Prime Directive far more than any other captain in the franchise, including Archer. Who
really?
Yeah.
Well, no, there wasn't a Prime Directive in Enterprise for a long time.
Yeah, that's why I'm including Archer.
That's interesting.
It's sarcasm. But Kirk rarely broke the Prime Directive, really. I think possibly because most of the times he wasn't in a position where he was forced into it.
Mm-hmm.
What I liked about the original was it was on the frontier, if you know what I mean. They were seeking out new life and new civilizations. The Next Generation just seemed to be patrolling in well-established areas. Of the new ones, I think DS9 was the best.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Because it had Bashir, and we all know Bashir. His name's Charming Man 93.
This is
His
true.
name on Discord, no word of a lie. I saw it on Bearing server. Someone's changed his nickname to Dr. Bashir. I saw it yesterday and I was in hysterics.
Oh, hold on.
I
You
couldn't
realise that
believe
you
someone had the
very
balls. I was about to
careful.
go.
If that's true,
Sorry?
you better be very careful how. So if that's true, you better be very careful how you talk to Charming Man 93 because he's an augment.
That's very true. I don't want him to fuck me up.
Yep.
Oh, he absolutely hates that, and it's all Undoom's fault. Genuinely was Undoomed.
On the whole, the Dr. Bashir character in DS9 and his straight man, for want of a better word, O'Brien, they were my favourites.
I changed the thumbnail I did for the stream. I did a couple weeks ago. I did a stream with Charming Man, and I put his head onto a blue shirt, and I put that on the thumbnail. And I've not received a single complaint from the fact that I've basically put Dr. Bashir on the thumbnail.
I'm wondering if anyone noticed.
That's a very good point. Did they think it was Dr. Bashir or just Charming Man?
I mean, no disrespect to Charming Man,
Wait,
but when I
there's a
first saw it, I was wondering why Charming Man was into cosplay. And I gave it a second look, and I thought, oh, okay.
It all makes sense
I don't watch
now.
Star Trek, so I didn't know about this Bashir person.
So what do you think about the Jar Jar Abrams movies?
Sorry?
I said, what do you think about the Jar Jar Abrams Star Trek?
Those Star Trek movies annoy me. The lens flares drove me insane.
I'm not a fan of lens flares, but I did like the first film.
I went and saw that with some housemates, and we all liked it except for one who pointed out that it was just their way of resetting the entire Star Trek canon, and that, if anything, pissed him off. And I was like, can you think of an original story worth telling otherwise? He didn't like it. He didn't like it that much.
It doesn't reset the original canon. There are, probably because of Abrams' ineptness, but there are strong hints there that it takes place in an entirely different reality anyway. I mean, before the Next Generation and before Star Trek: The Slow Motion Picture, every ship in the Federation had its own badge. The one that's used for the Federation Starfleet in the Next Generation was originally just the badge for the Enterprise, but on the USS Kelvin, they were wearing that badge. They shouldn't have been. And also, Kirk was born on Earth in Abrams' film. He was born on the escape shuttle.
Yeah, they changed things.
And also, the Klingons are
Continuity police were all over that.
Yeah. It to me just means that it's an entirely different reality. It has nothing. Yeah. Like the mirror universe is an entirely different reality. It's not a divergent timeline. So the people who can, oh, you ruined Star Trek for me, basically idiots.
I'm kind of hoping that they take a little less time to make them, because there's like a 4-year gap between each one. I think by the time they get to 4, everyone's gonna be like, "What's the fucking point?"
But I hate Uhura in the Abrams movies. In the original series, she was a competent professional. She was head of an entire department. Yeah, she respected the chain of command. In Abrams, she's this arrogant bitch who only follows the chain of command if it suits her.
Well, it's probably intentional to, I don't know, I would say bring the character development up, but maybe it's just change it to make it a bit more interesting. Maybe, I don't know.
Doesn't
make her a strong, independent woman.
Hey, she's at least like some black, so she's got to be sassy too.
Apparently, Nicole Nichols much prefers the Uhura in Star Trek Continues and the other fan production, Star Trek Phase 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's from the original Uhura. She prefers the fan production ones.
I haven't watched any of the fan production stuff. I sort of briefly noticed the Discovery thing a while back, and then the Axanar thing, but
Yeah.
I haven't paid any attention to it. Effort.
Star Trek,
When there's so much salt to look at online, I'd rather look at that than that.
well, if you want to keep your feet
That
up,
makes sense.
Star Trek continues. They actually made 7 episodes, and they're quite good.
Isn't there a TV series of Star Trek now? A new one?
Not that I've heard.
No,
I must be totally thinking of something else. My mistake.
that Star Trek Discovery looks like a fan production of the J.J. Abrams universe.
Oh wait, so hang on. Discovery is the TV series, right?
Yeah, it looks horrible.
I was thinking of something before Axanar that was fan made, and I called it Discovery by mistake. Doesn't matter. It's all trash. It can disappear at some point.
Check out your Discord.
Mine?
Yeah.
What
You
did
just-
send to me?
Omegon just.
Oh yeah,
just
we need to talk about Voldemort's penis, everyone.
What?
Say what?
I remember seeing that. The BuzzFeed tweet. We need to talk about Voldemort's penis with that big smiling face of Voldemort.
Okay, you're gonna have
Creepy.
a picture here.
Why did they? What was that about? I need to find out now. I'll go to Google it and we'll have a look.
I mean, we
Do we have to?
done this because, oh my god, BuzzFeed can't upload that, and everyone will, read it. But fucking hell, BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed.com. We need to- Okay, I've got it. Right. Oh, this is going to be fun. Share. We need to talk about. Oh, hang on a sec. Let me check something.
I'm still shaking my head over that woman who thinks that breastfeeding is unnatural.
No, don't get me started.
There we go. Okay, so if you've already read the new Harry Potter book, which isn't a book but a script, then continue reading. If you haven't, then this post will be a spoiler and also mostly about Voldemort's dick. I love that. It's just beautiful. You see, in The Cursed Child, an evil and angsty millennial named Delphi is revealed to be the daughter of Bellatrix Lestrange and Voldemort. Wait, Voldemort had a kid?
Yes,
Really?
she's a bloody bitch. Yeah.
Second reason is the fact that
The script itself.
And also, wait, Voldemort has a penis! Oh my god, the white supremacy! Not the fact that he's like part snake.
I think he needs more tentacles.
Everything needs more
I think-
tentacles.
I think he's just pissed off with his rhinoplastician.
Who the fuck would want to write, like, seriously, imagine a love scene with Bellatrix Lestrange, right? Those two there. That face on Voldemort's face is what the face he pulls when he's orgasming. Okay? And that's the face she pulls when he penetrates her with his
I
snake.
don't know. Maybe she was one of, those women.
Well,
It's possible.
It's frightening.
everyone and their mother literally had the same thought. Voldemort didn't even have a nose, and now he wants to believe he has a dick because nose can easily be transposed with dick. They're connected, the nose and the dick. Yeah. You ever had nose sex? Seriously. Eskimos
Yeah.
love it.
It's Helena Bonham Carter, and she's never good looking.
I mean, we're also talking
Voldemort
about.
didn't have a nose. Oh, that's amazing.
Do you remember
It's
that
by Voldemort.
Frankenstein movie with new guy?
My lord, it was Bellatrix's voice and she spoke as if to a lover. Harry did not dare open his eyes, but allowed his other senses to explore his predicament. That sounds like a really shitty fanfic.
Yep, I'm going to be sick.
I've got a few of them. They're not very good. However, the whole having a child together just doesn't add up. I mean, as I just mentioned, he was barely a human. He was barely human at all. Yeah, you're right. He's mostly snake. Like 5 seconds before he and Bellatrix supposedly had this kid, Voldemort was a tiny, weird, melting alien baby. Hang on, wait. Hang on. how is he a tiny, weird, melting alien baby? Wait, she was in Azkaban when he was resurrected. That's interesting.
And that's where
does
they
that sound like
supposedly had sex.
No, it makes Bellatrix a paedophile if she did.
Yeah.
Well,
And all of a sudden he has a wang. I love these like gifs, and it's usable. Like this. Oh, it's
I know
brilliant.
why he's evil. You can see why he's
Yeah,
evil.
She loved it. Oh yeah, yeah.
You can definitely see why he's evil. It's because the person who created him forgot to give him a nose.
Amazing, amazing. Oh fucking hell! Stopping. That is disturbing.
next BuzzFeed article: what's bigger, Voldemort's nose or penis?
Oh god. Well, if he was a baby when they did it, it was definitely his nose.
Well, let's face it. Voldemort's nose is bigger than Steve Shives' penis.
Steve Shives is Voldemort's.
Steve Shives only knows defensive spells like block. Bitch ain't got no kill power.
I've seen
Although
Shives.
you know
wife tells
damn
me.
well those regressive fucks in the Brain Trust. If they could, they would use those forbidden spells. They would actually do it, whereas the rest of us would be like, no, just don't do it. People can speak, okay? Give them the platform, for fuck's sake. Like,
Yeah.
Crucio, fuck you.
Yeah, the script, the cursed child is just a load of horror.
Well, didn't Hermione change race from the end of Deathly Hallows to Cursed Child?
No, it
Yeah.
was. What did you? I thought it was just because of the stage play.
Yeah, the actor that we got for Hermione was black for the stage play.
But unlike Emma Whitney, she looked female.
I think Emma Watson needs to go to her IMDb and renounce it because now Hermione's black and she's white. She's got to give up this privilege she's got, this white privilege that gave her those roles, and it all needs to be redone, rebooted with blackness. Just everyone be black now.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, let's face it. With the feminists in the SJW camp, everybody gets kicked out of it sooner or later, don't they? I'm just waiting for the day when Emma Witness gets kicked out of the feminist camp. Yeah, she'll say something and they'll just descend upon her.
I thought she already was kicked out because of those boob pictures.
Oh, yeah, that's...
got spread about.
Yeah, I saw those, but I still didn't see any boob.
There's a bit of side boob, but that's it.
Yeah,
I
but she's
think
got
that Emma Watson
the
will
body
get
of a
kicked out,
9-year-old boy.
Sorry.
No, I was saying that I think that Emma Watson will be kicked out of the feminist movement because she seems really ignorant on a lot of things, but she probably does actually believe in equality and just
Didn't she win an award for like that gender neutral, like non-gender acting award? The very first one is like the most, like one of the richest women on the planet kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has any, ideological basis behind it. Because when did she act in Harry Potter? That was years ago. What's she done lately? Ideological.
Didn't she do a film? She's kind of. She did the Beauty and the Beast thing, I think. And that's all I can remember.
Yeah, but she was really crap as a beast.
Yeah.
No. What she was really good at doing was making everybody's ears bleed with her singing.
She was originally cast as Gaston, but she couldn't do press ups. Or eat 5 dozen eggs.
Yeah, I doubt she could eat five dozen processed peas.
Go straight to her.
She doesn't know what good food is.
It always makes me laugh when I remember that speech she gave at the and she goes, and I was called Bossy as a child because I wanted to direct the plays that my brothers and I put on for my parents. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, you probably forced your brothers into being involved in these plays because they wanted to get out and play football or something.
In Harry Potter extras DVDs, right? I think it was for the third film. They were doing on the extras. They were asked who is most like their character, and she admitted it was her.
So she's bossy.
Bossy, and the word bossy came up. I'm sorry, but you fessed up. I'm sorry, bossy little fuck.
She's just a spoiled upper class little brat.
Well, she came from a very somewhat more privileged background than other actors on that show. I'm not trying to criticize because she's done really well for herself. Lots of money.
The kid who played Harry Potter has done well for himself as well, hasn't he? Daniel Radcliffe in it.
Yeah, he's did a few things, including stripping naked for a stage play. Don't ask me how I remember that.
I think everyone knows he whipped his cock out for a horse fucking play.
Equus.
Yes.
That was one of the first things they showed on Channel 4. That's why I know about it.
You're just lucky when he whipped out his wand, he didn't shoot out a Patronus at that thing, because that would be weird.
I went to do the film about where he meets the Queen Elizabeth's youngest son. Harry Potter and the Half-Wit Prince. Oh, come on, that was funny.
I couldn't tell if you said Half-Wit Prince or if your audio went funny.
No, I said Half-Wit Prince.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, that was funny.
I never liked Prince Edward to begin with, but when he came out with that comment that I don't like common people, that was it. Yeah.
Who, Prince Philip or Prince Edward?
Edward.
All he said Prince Edward then is fuck off.
He cried to get out of his military service. And
Milan.
I mean, I've got respect for. I do respect Princess Anne, Prince Charles, Prince Philip, Prince Philip, and Andrew.
Yeah.
They've all of them done their duty to the country. Yeah, with military service.
I know very little about the royal family past them making us money and we give them money.
Mm. Yes,
they live in castles while I live in a tiny little house with a tiny little room. Yes.
Warp Reflection in the chat's got it right. Prince Philip is an awesome old bigot. Edward is the Ponzi Puff of the family.
Yes.
Yeah. The funny thing about Prince Philip, I mean, he's from the Greek royal family. Yet he is incredibly English.
I don't hear much, and because I want to somewhat keep it relevant, I am curious, to know what some who identify as social justice warriors think of the royal family. Whether they're unified in the idea that the royal family should just be executed, because let's face it, they all seem to want violence at some point, or whether they just want them to be no longer royal, or whether they would want them to simply stay until they no longer make us money.
That would be an awful long time, because the way the civil list works, the civil list started in the Regency period. And what it is the royal family own most of the land in the United Kingdom, right? But they give all of the revenue from that land to the government and paid an allowance from the government. It means that they don't, like the Prince Regent did, run out of money. But in the long run, the government gets a better, the Parliament gets a better end of the deal. And that's how the civil list works. And yes, even I only found that out recently.
Well, that didn't answer my question. I want to know what SJWs think. I'm going to go to Twitter and ask Kevin Logan. God, that potato's so boring.
That's two diametrically opposed words in there. SJW and think.
Oh, yeah, you're
They'd
right.
I
probably
don't think
actually
they
be-
react.
They'd probably be for it, to be honest, considering that the head of state is a woman. So they're probably just
Oh yeah,
trying
but she's
to
got to be the
deflect from
right
it.
kind of woman.
Yeah, but
We
she's
have a head of
white.
state we have a prime minister as a woman, don't we? And a lot of those that, certainly the British ones, seem to want Corbyn as because
Yeah,
of they're not the right kind.
Yeah, because Corbyn's the
I
right
love
kind of
annoying my
woman.
sister with that, saying, oh, you like female representation, so why don't you like Margaret Thatcher? Is it because she's a woman? I'm not doing that.
Oh dear, your sister.
And Theresa May.
Uh,
Why are you voting
yeah,
for
that's the thing.
Theresa May? You sexist.
In
Take
theory,
your sister's a right SJW, she.
She mostly is.
Oh, she wouldn't get along with any of the women in my family. Literally, any of the women in my family.
Yeah, she has pretty much different politics to everyone in our family. I've got very different politics as well. Most people in my family tend to be conservative. She's very much a progressive, but I probably fall more libertarian, classical liberal. So it's
you have to specify
diverse.
classical liberal because there seems to be fair number of people who identify as liberal who are not.
Not only that,
Well-
but classical liberal is a lot more specific than liberal or libertarian, which tend to be umbrella terms.
One time I would have classed myself as a progressive, but not since the term has been hijacked by these people who are actually regressives.
I prefer the term narcissist and eventual executioner of all.
I just like the term regressive, to be honest.
You're just
'cause
a great
it's just-
old spoiled brat.
And I like the term sandwich wench.
It's a good title. Everyone should cherish it.
Keep
I
forgetting,
do
like,
cherish it, even though you're bored of me.
is it Yorkshire or Lancashire from?
Lancashire.
Ah, right, yeah, you're from the bad side then.
It's so.
I was born in Carrick Garrison, so
I was
I am an army brat.
right. Stop with your introductions.
Yeah, right now.
44 minutes ago. God damn it.
It could be worse.
Yeah, I guess so. Could be from Kent.
Nothing wrong with Kent.
I live here. It's
Look,
a shit.
Kent is far enough away from me, so there's nothing wrong with it.
Ah,
too close to me.
Oh, you know Milton Keynes?
Yeah.
You know they've got those concrete cows?
No.
Yes.
Well, a friend of mine went, this is back in the early 80s, he went to Glastonbury. They took a trailer for the booze. And when they came back, they went through Milton Keynes for some odd reason. And they stopped off in the Greenbelt. Yeah, because they saw these concrete cows in the fields, and they got out and they took some bull crops with them. And there's one of those concrete cows in his back garden now. I have no idea why he got it and why he's keeping it, but it's there.
I don't know what to say to that.
Hey, at least they're better than the bloody Angel of the fucking North. There's nobody up here likes that thing.
People up north tend to hate everything anyway.
No, we don't. It's just
From my experience, they do.
you have a lived experience.
From my
We-
experience, I've noticed that Northerners don't like Southerners.
Maybe that's it.
Depends on the southerner.
Yes,
They're
Omegon.
very
It depends
Southern
on the.
accent.
It depends on the southerner, you
Sorry?
bloody bastard squid. Depends on the southerner, you bloody
That's very-
bastard squid.
Yeah, that
Right.
explains everything.
I mean, I've did it myself. I went down to London, was down there for a year for work, and yeah, people in London loved you for being from the north when they wanted you to work. But when you weren't working, they didn't want anything to do with you.
Yep.
Did that mean we had to actually want to work with you?
That's because we went down there and we did the jobs that the people in London didn't want to do.
Oh, I've noticed this
Like
in
anything.
previous employments where they've had a lot of Eastern European people, and I've asked why, and it's been because the English in the local area refused to do the work because it's too much work for the amount of money. It's like that's why they're on the dole though, because they're not doing the job.
Like in Lincolnshire, a lot of the farmers are lying about that. There are people, the families there for generations. I mean, going back hundreds of years, they've been seasonal land workers. The Eastern Europeans come in and they'll work for less than half of minimum wage. So they're basically getting all the work these people traditionally depend upon. And a lot of these landowners, the local people won't work for a decent wage now. They want too much. They're lying through the teeth. They're just profiteering off the backs of these Eastern Europeans. And because of that, the Polish, like East Germans and that who've moved into these areas, they hate it. It's not their fault. It's the fault of the people who are employing them.
Because they can get away with it.
Yeah. It's a situation which needs fixing.
It is. Yeah.
That sounds like effort.
Well, we've got a problem with people trying to escape from Sunderland.
Is it because their team sucks and they're too embarrassed to live near it?
Yeah.
That explains everything.
Like, Sunderland is the northeast version of Essex.
Oh, Bennehh knows all about that.
He's not an Essex boy, is he?
Oh, he's an Essex boy.
So you're the one about the three Essex.
Underneath that hat is the thickest Burberry cap you could ever imagine.
Have you heard the one about the three Essex goes out for a walk in the woods, and I come across these tracks. And the first one, look, these are deer tracks. You can tell by how widely these are spaced. And the second one was, no, they're not. If you look closely, you can tell by how deep they are that they're obviously badger tracks. You know, and you're both wrong. The fox tracks, and they're arguing for hours until wham, hit by the city train.
That's a good one.
Seriously, Benneh's such a chap. He's wearing a sovereign ring. He's wearing a sovereign ring right now.
What? What is it?
Massive fat sovereign. A massive clumpy gold ring as well. Yeah, he's a proper chav.
No, that's
his accent.
Yeah, the massive gold sovereign ring. That's not a chav. That's a dodgy Cockney villain from Minder.
No, it means they've stolen it. He's stolen it from the Cockney people. There's barely any of those buggers left.
I didn't even know what sovereign ring was beforehand, but my nan used to wear one of those.
My stepbrother has one, and I asked him why he wore it, and he said it's because it distracts people from the fact I'm ginger. He's like, he holds it up and he's got these massive clumpy gold rings, and he said no one noticed his hair when they were looking at his gold rings.
That's a good excuse.
I said to him, you sure they wouldn't notice, that it wouldn't pay more attention when they start noticing you, a massive guy, massive like boxer 6'4" guy drinking peach schnapps like a little girl?
Of course not. The rings will distract him.
The ring, well, they will. He tried to punch someone in the face with them once, and he broke the rings, but he also broke all his fingers. And he's like, I had a cracking fight. Those rings need to be melted off your fingers, you bell end.
I see we have a former member of the senior service in the chat.
Who has downs?
Yes.
Oh,
I think two things should happen here. I think I should get a wrench and Irate Bear should get a link.
If he wants to jump in, I'll give him the link. I don't mind. Oh, fucking hell.
I definitely think I should have a link. A wrench. A link. I've already got a link.
Oh.
You can't jump in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't the message then. You can't have that message. Fuck you, Bear.
Oh.
Oh dear. Where are you? There you are. Okay, I can do that.
He's behind you.
Yeah, he probably is. He seems to like butt fucking.
Well, he was in the Navy.
They only like bending
Yes.
you over a
Be the
table, Omegon.
prerequisite. Sorry?
They only like bending you over a table.
He's
Oh,
got a table.
I'm not sure I like the idea of being bent over a table and being fucked.
Yeah, but you're a squid boy.
very
You said
small.
that, your genitalia is anything like anybody else's.
And Megan prefers more exotic things to be lent on.
What the fuck? Okay. So who's fucking bears now? What? And that's apparently hate speech. Fuck's sake. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, was there any other topics?
Omegon.
Oh yeah.
Are you the type
Have you
of person-
have you all had a chance to look at all the delightful manifestos for all the parties now that make it virtually impossible to have any one party to definitively vote for? Because even though everyone really believed the Tories were going to destroy the Labour Party, the Tories manifesto is as cancerous as the Labour parties.
I've
No.
only read the Conservative one, but that's because
Sorry?
I usually think I've only read the the Conservative one because generally with Labour they're fucking retarded from my point of view. But
Most of Labour's policies, and I went through that with Satirotician and Irate Bear, most of it boils down to spend, spend, spend. And it's a case of where
Yeah.
the fuck do you get the money from? Oh, we take it from all these people that earn over this amount of money. And we renationalize all this. Oh, that means you have to spend money to buy it back then.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I agree with the Labour Party is the renationalisation of the utilities, but only the utilities.
Yeah.
Because in the long
Labour,
run,
I don't want them to win because I don't care about people who are saying, "Oh, we want a soft Brexit." I'm
No, we
sorry,
don't.
no.
No. They want a hard Brexit.
I live in the
that's
most
what-
anti-EU.
we want a
council.
Brexit. We want a Brexit so hard that the Germans will be crying for years.
The thing is, some of the countries in the EU are doing this fantastic job, especially, well, let's go with the one that stands out. Who's doing this fantastic job of saying, you will do this, you will pay this, you will do that, you will abide this, and these negotiations, all this all goes through. Yeah, no, we have all the cards. You do realize that, right?
Yeah.
You have literally zero power. Oh, hang on,
Even now, the Ramonas rather are still trying the fear campaign.
I don't mind the idea of a soft Brexit, to be honest, if we're not being then told that we have to pay 100 million or billion or however much it was, and that we have to take in X amount of migrants, more than what we could sustainably take in every year.
We've already done that. There are too many.
Yeah, let's not forget what we've already done. Let's see about the future part.
Yeah, there are already too many people in the British Isles as it is because of the massive migration that's been foisted upon us.
And it's not helping with the housing prices either. Over here, especially where I live, we have a lot of new houses being built fucking finally after years, but it doesn't help.
Yeah, same.
There's not so
Yeah.
much immigration here because this general area is a fall-off for London. It was originally a fall-off area after World War II. People would come over here to, stay because it'd be a lot safer than being bombed in London. But it's remained that way for
What,
years.
you mean-
We have so much immigration, so many people coming in, and we don't have the infrastructure to actually support them. We don't have the extra schools or the extra hospitals, so it's awful.
You mean
here.
Londonistan,
We've
don't
just
Mm.
sorry.
Londonistan.
Yeah, definitely.
We've only just for the last 5 years that I've been where I am, we're an offshot from Dover, and Dover was supposed to have thousands of houses built because there's a shortage there. Where I live, there was supposed to be thousands of houses built. Instead, what's happening is really old houses are being knocked down and replaced by small terraces of 3 to 4 houses to fill the same space. And because the back gardens in some of these places are quite big as well, houses are being built behind it as well.
Yeah.
But they've only just started doing this. But there's a housing shortage to the point where, for example, I have 3 sisters, 2 of which share a 2-bedroom house in Dover because neither the council can't provide them with a 3-bedroom house to accommodate for their children as well. And these are small houses, and it's like, how come it took you so long to pull your thumb out and actually invest in that area when it was required? And it's because if you go around the corner from where they live, all the new houses that were originally built were given to other people that aren't from here.
Well, up here,
and that does piss a lot of people off.
Up here where I live, town I live in, they're trying to encroach on protected green belts and sites of special scientific interest. If you know what those are. Basically areas with rare plants.
Thought it was.
But they're trying to encroach on them for housing. I mean, we have a population larger than bloody France's.
Well, some people have been doing that, haven't they? Where they've been building garages or sheds, or building something on a concrete base, claiming it to be a shed or a guest house.
Yeah.
And they've been building it on greenbelt land, and it's like, you really shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a finite amount of space that isn't marshland or woodland, that isn't on hills, and so we don't really have as much space as people seem to think to build houses to begin with, and yet we're supposed to build 250,000 a year to maintain the influx and the population growth.
And I agree with what Irate Bear said in the chat. We should line up all the Royal Navy ships in the Channel and fire upon France.
I would. The great thing there is, I'd look out my window, and I'd watch all these lovely little Royal Navy ships park up, and I'd see the mountains of white flags that I see every single day in France, and you'd see them wave, and then you'd just see them stop, and then you'd see them all covered in red.
I think what we should do is we should invest in some scientific research, and at the end of it, we'll build this device which will suck an inordinate amount of water into the Channel Tunnel and turn it into the world's largest super soaker and blast it into France.
I can imagine the trigger on that would be so much fun to pull.
Well, I was hold off for 3 weeks. My brother's in France currently.
You realise once we get out of the EU and gain control of our borders and our fishing areas, we're going to go back to the Cod Wars, aren't we?
Oh God, the Cod Wars!
Yeah,
I want my fish fingers. I need my fish finger sandwich.
We might just, actually negotiate trade without having to go through the European Union, and we don't have to abide by their hefty regulations on us. So it'll probably be a lot cheaper.
Some countries have, it's been mentioned repeatedly that Norway has an agreement with the EU anyway, but it's not a direct, it's not a full member.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's so difficult to believe that we could function without them or function with them without having to be a part of them.
I think once we leave the EU, it's going to crumble.
Well, there's already talk that some of the economies in Germany are starting to take a hit from Brexit.
Yeah, I think he'll take a hit.
That's what I mentioned earlier in an article.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. The EU economy is getting hit a lot more than our economy is by Brexit.
Well, to be honest, that's not surprising. Germany and United Kingdom were the 3 major countries that propped up the EU whenever people decided to, not pay taxes, or because they didn't disclose all the information necessary before joining the EU, only for us to discover they were going bankrupt and we had to bail them out.
Yep.
I agree.
And that's where most of the money of this country's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame as well with the European Union, because I'm not fully against the idea of having a sort of European Union. Like, for example, if we
the one we've got.
had... Yeah, exactly. I don't like the sound of the European Union pushing regressive policies and pushing these regulations on everything, but I like the sound of a sort of union like the US has. because the US, at least ignoring the 3/5 clause and things like that, kind of questionable things, it works. And not only that, but it emphasizes local control. Not so much nowadays, but it used to. And I quite like the sound of that.
The United States works because they're pretty much that's one culture, that's one national identity. But Europe, a united Europe, a politically united Europe cannot work because of the differences. And let's face it, us in the United Kingdom, the British Isles, we're not European.
We've always been aloof.
I disagree there to some extent. I agree that Europe is generally more diverse in terms of different cultures and everything. I agree there. And that there is a sort of not so much over the top, that's a bad way of saying it, but rather a top-down American culture, if you will, which kind of fluctuates depending on where you go, but it's kind of there. But I think such a system could work, and that's the strength of having a system where everything is rather than top-down, like what we see with the European Union, is rather bottom-up, where you emphasize local controls. Because if you have, for example, the European Union is set up like the United States was, and what happens is the federal government just makes sure that everyone's playing honestly. There's no slavery, there's no fraud, whatever. And then everything falls down to the different country states. That system could work, because even though you have very different countries, they run their own affairs, and then you just have that overhead just to make sure that one state doesn't do things like slavery or whatever. I think it could work, to be honest, but I would agree if you're saying this about the European Union and only the European Union, because that is, you have everything being dictated from Brussels, and the European Union or the European states are incredibly diverse, and that doesn't even go into the different economies. Well, why do you have a shared economy where, Greece is a vastly different economy to France? Doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, and
so
the EU basically raped Greece and then kicked it out of bed.
And Spain to some extent.
Yeah, and Spain of it. That's one of the reasons why I think Scotland going independent would be idiotic, because to try and join the European Union. But if they went, from what I've heard, if Scotland went independent, they would have a larger financial deficit than Greece has now. Almost twice.
It's already been stated both times that Scotland, like the first time they went for independence and it failed, Spain outright stated they would say no, and they had to get yes across the board. And then in the when Nicola Sturgeon brought it back because of Brexit, they started saying, we're going to join the EU again after leaving the United Kingdom. We want another independence vote. Spain yet again spoke up and said, and they yet again said, no, you're not joining the EU.
Yeah. And what would be the point of gaining independence just to give it away again?
Yeah, that never made sense to me. I never quite got the point of wanting to be a part of want to get away from the United Kingdom because the only reason you stayed was to stay in the EU. I didn't really get it.
I think Nicola Sturgeon and her entire party, they're just a representation of anti-English sentiment in Scotland.
Let's be honest, though, they didn't know that we were going to leave the EU.
Neither did we.
For example, well, yeah, definitely. I didn't think we were going to leave, but there you go.
At least we are.
They didn't.
Actually, I remember going to bed that night after being on stream with Ralph, and I was on till like 3 a.m. and I went to bed and woke up at 6 a.m. because I couldn't sleep because I was so anxious. And then I found out we'd won. I just found out that the Brexit won, and I was like, "Holy shit, we won!
Yeah,
this is
I stayed
weird."
up all night for it because I was quite anxious, and it was a very surreal feeling because it's weird actually having something that actually agrees with you in politics.
You know what
so something actually going your way in politics. It felt nice. It felt good.
When the US election result was happening, I had to go to bed, and I woke up at 6 a.m. to go to work. I checked my phone, and there it was happening, and I was like, and people were talking, and it was on Twitter. And I was like, Trump's won all these states. If he wins, I think at the time it was just Pennsylvania he had to get, and he'd won. And I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, they
and
asked
and he finally did. Okay, so for those who don't know, on the weekend mornings I clean a pub. I found out he won when I was in a pub, and the first thing I did was try and reach for a pint.
I was for young extreme. That was so fucking worth it.
You know what annoyed me about the Scottish referendum is they kept whenever anybody on TV British commentator on TV put up his opinion, says, yeah, it's got nothing to do with you. It's a Scottish issue. You know, sitting thinking, no, it's an issue for the entire United Kingdom because you're leaving it, which is going to affect the entire United Kingdom.
See, I still find it fascinating that Scotland gets to vote in UK Parliament on issues that affect all the United Kingdom, right? And yet they have their own Parliament with some powers, and yet the English do not have that.
No,
they get to vote on English issues, and that to me, I take issue with.
Well, I think the north of England should declare independence from the south.
The south will rise.
Yeah, that's something that I don't get about.
We've got all the natural resources and everything, haven't we?
Very true. It's not like I can just go fishing in the morning and get some mackerel.
Yeah,
I'm good to go for the rest of the day.
To be perfectly honest, I think Scotland should remain part of the United Kingdom, so should Ireland, so should Wales, because we are far stronger as the United Kingdom than we would be as independent countries.
Also, we need a little country at the top that's a little bitch that we can smack around.
But so that we need Scotland so we have somebody to laugh at during the World Cup.
And if anyone is Scottish watching and you're triggered, I am not sorry. I'm getting thumbs down.
But I think it would support you.
Hey, up the face.
Oh dear, oh dear.
She with the face of an otter is in the chat.
I know, I noticed.
I like otter face.
You like everyone.
No, I don't like everyone.
You don't like these southerners.
I don't like some southerners. There are some southerners I like quite a lot. When I was a kid,
I think.
Because my dad was in the army, when I was a kid, obviously I lived all over the place. And one of the places I lived was a small village in just outside of Winchester called Hairstock. Laura Bones hates everybody.
Yeah, Batman's love for me turned to hate as soon as he found out I was from Lancashire.
I'll let you off with that.
Yay!
No,
the only good thing to come out of Lancashire is hot.
You.
What?
God Pikachu thinks I hate that. I don't.
Fair enough.
And J. Willie Series says he's Scottish.
I'm not sorry. Build a fucking wall.
I've got a friend in Edinburgh, and I mean, the guy's been at university. He's a learned guy, but we're talking about. He agrees with me. There's a lot of anti-English sentiment in Scotland, and it's because most of them don't know their own history. A hell of a lot of Scottish people think that Scotland is part of the United Kingdom because England invaded Scotland and forced it to happen.
Nope.
No, it didn't. Scotland came cap in hand because we were bankrupt to the English Parliament. Whilst there was a Scottish king on the English throne and begged to be part of the United Kingdom for money.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So who do you think is going to win the election, by the way?
Conservatives.
Yeah.
I hope they will be Comrade Corbyn.
Wow.
Just joking.
Wow.
I hope it won't be him, but I also kind of hope
communism.
it will be Theresa May, because
Jeremy Corbyn.
I kind of liked her up until the whole, we're going to crack down on the internet, which isn't scary.
Yeah, that fucking did my head in.
Is that actually going to happen, or is that one of those vote catching?
It's one of their proposals. I think
Yeah.
when it comes to the Conservatives, for a lot of them, I don't think that they'd be able to turn on a computer without, calling technical support. But I am still kind of
think
worried
That's
just in
true.
case.
I think that'll be one of the policies they turn on, because they're not going to be able to police the internet. I'm sorry, they can't do it.
Nobody can.
No.
No, it isn't. But what they are going to do, because the internet doesn't work like that, granted, but what they are going to try and do is put government regulations onto the industry or onto people. And even if they don't manage to regulate the internet, that's going to do some serious harm.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got to the point where they tried to like do what some states in America try and do and ban porn. I mean, ban the filming of certain acts in this country, so why not just ban all of it anyway? The only way anyone here can now fap is with their imagination. Congratulations.
Well, why don't we just have
Imaginary
government
fapping.
handle everything for us? Just can government, can I do this, please? Can I just go onto Google and type in something, please?
Does it not? The policies
If
you
it pleases
mentioned,
the
right? They're
crowd.
so universally unpopular. Does it not seem like something I would have thought Corbyn would say more? Like, I thought he would have come up with this, not Theresa May.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we got a coalition government between the Conservatives and UKIP? That would be.
I don't think UKIP are going to win any seats. I think they're dumb.
Well, they've managed to get the result that their entire party was created for. So,
Yeah. I think that they obviously at the last election they got 4 million votes or something, and that's great because they got one seat to show for that. And they have MEPs for the time being, but I think that they've lost all their council seats, and for the most part, their party has served its purpose, and that was to get us out of the EU.
Well, they've also run out of steam as well because they've lost Nigel Farage, which was their going power, in my opinion.
With like another idea for a coalition that was mentioned was the SNP and Labour, but I believe Corbyn himself nixed that idea. But I genuinely believe if he had the chance, he would do it because he's a little bitch.
Yeah.
I didn't the SNP instigate that policy whereby Scots and European Union students got free tuition in Scotland, but English people who were university students in Scotland still had to pay.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know why they don't begin with, those cheeky fucks. They get so much for free. Yeah, we need a new party. The party is Cthulhu. If I had more notice, I would have definitely run for Prime Minister. And there was a pirate party, Laura. There actually was a political pirate party.
Yeah, that's true.
There was also the Monster Raving Lunatic Party. Al Murray tried to run for office once. There have been a few other little parties. The pirate party has, in fact, existed.
Oh, I remember it was the second election after the Conservatives got in. There was actually a party that believed that they could levitate. Forget the name of them. They didn't get any votes, by the way.
I'm not surprised. We English do not take kind to lunatics.
What we should have, the best party we could have is a drunken party.
I would be very surprised if that also hasn't already happened. Seriously, I think if a party name is, I think it's like almost like a Rule 34, but for politics. I've seen so many people like in Norwich North or Norwich South, where it was I was living. They had about 12 different candidates going for a seat that I believe was eventually won by Chloe Smith or Chloe Green, or whatever her fucking name was.
Yeah. The thing about,
but some of the party names were just utterly random names.
The thing about Corbyn is his entire working life has been spent as a politician. He is totally out of touch with the real world.
Well, not just that, he's not really done anything when he's been in office anyway.
No.
I mean, not office, but as a politician, he's not done anything. He's always voted against the grain.
His ideals, I just don't trust him in with that amount of power.
I trust him to hold the door open when I walk through it, and that's about it.
I
think with the way he stands, he's a fantastic doorstop.
I think he's slippery and end up with a face full of door.
Nah, he must have some decent heels. Yeah, with all that money he gets and he doesn't pay tax on, and the money he makes from the jam, I reckon he sticks to the floor.
And one of the big problems I have with Labour is whenever you're at a Labour MP in your constituency, there is automatically a female Labour MP put in place with him.
Oh my God, Diane Abbott! Thanks for reminding me, Bennehh.
Yes, sexist, racist bitch.
The one who said, didn't she call Britain racist?
Yeah.
British people racist for voting out of the EU or something?
Yeah.
She calls British people racist every 5 minutes, man.
I used to watch this thing with Andrew Neil. I think it was like a late politics show with Heseltine, I think it was, and her. And every time they disagreed on something, which was all the time, she'd roll her eyes into the back of her head like the Undertaker.
Oh,
and then try and talk.
Jay Willie's series. Sorry. I was just saying, Jay Willie's series in the chat has just come up with a good one about Jess Phillips. Remember her?
Right.
Unfortunately.
Birmingham, I think she's from, isn't she?
Yardley,
right.
yes.
Birmingham,
yeah,
right. She is a female supremacist.
She is.
Yes, I can.
I mean, she does champion. She's sort of not champion, but she does get involved in some things I don't mind so much. Like there are family courts things that she's involved with where there's this stupid rule where the abuser can question or interrogate the victim. To me, that is ridiculous, and she's been trying to stop that from happening. Unfortunately, she's only coming at that from the position of women being the victim, men being the perpetrator.
Yeah.
And I tried to look up, and I was talking to Misa about this, and I spoke to a few others.
One thing,
the problem with the number of people who...
Sorry, but this is important. With the abuser or the perpetrator, is this alleged or is this actually proven?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of one of the things I was going to say.
That's one issue.
I don't think either the perpetrator...
That was one of my issues as well. But also the inaccurate statistics as well, because there aren't really any that mention... because these were for single parents. And of those that are single parents that are male, there are no records of those that are victims of domestic violence.
Mm-hmm. I don't think...
And of course, that doesn't also include those that were victims of domestic violence that are male that didn't get to keep the children.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. But, in that circumstance, I don't think in court, I don't think either the accused or the alleged victim should be allowed to cross-examine each other.
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. If they don't want to be in the same, if the victim doesn't want to be in the same room as the perpetrator, I would be okay with it.
You notice how a lot of times in these cases, like an alleged rape, the press will be free with the accused's name, but they keep the victim's name under wraps. I don't think they should be allowed to name the accused unless a guilty verdict has been reached.
Yeah, but I would say this much like what Bennehh mentioned. Not if this is alleged, I'm a bit more dubious about the idea. If it's something that is conclusive and definitive and is actually a case, then then they don't be in the same room together. If it's alleged, I'm a bit more until it's proven.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But Jess Phillips, while a disgusting human being who should keep her seat because of how disgusting she is, I agree again with you, Bennehh.
I wouldn't rape her.
I want her there as an example of how disgusting someone is in politics, how absolutely disgusting they are, and they are the avatar of that kind of disgusting nature. She has been trying to be she has been active in a couple things that I can agree with parts of.
But not for the reasons that you would condone.
Yeah, I've seen other politicians, some SNP ones that champion women's rights, and that's a quote from some of these douchey little guys who are clearly trying to score points, talking about how it's unacceptable that women and little girls are victims to this and that and all these crimes. I'm like,
so are men.
Yeah, exactly. And yet they completely ignore it when people bring it up, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, right? We get the poncy little poser politicians who do it solely for the points. Can you not be genuine for once?
Here's a story for you. It's going back when I was about 18. It was his house party. One of my friends was there with his girlfriend, and it was this lass who was after my friend. And she managed to trick him to go upstairs, which this the idiot did. Well, me and his girlfriend followed them, and hanging about outside this bedroom, what she'd taken him into, and she was trying to get him to sleep with her. And we heard her say, "Wait, if you don't, I'm going to rip my dress, and I'm going to go downstairs and say that you tried to rape me." That's when his girlfriend just flew into the room and beat the cow up. But correct me if I'm wrong, but if that would have happened to a woman, and it was and the coercion was successful, that would be rape.
Yeah.
It should also be rape if it's done to a man, because such things do happen, and far more frequently than you'd believe.
I wouldn't be surprised, because I didn't get anything like that in school, but there were those sorts of girls who would lie about those sorts of things. In my class, they didn't make such big accusations, but they would, if you said something they didn't like, or you did something that they didn't like, then they would try and lie about something. And it's not, of course, all women. I can see Kevin Logan looking at this and getting all butthurt over it. But
that perpetual virgin can suck a dick.
Honestly, when isn't he butthurt?
Yeah, I think Kevin Logan's probably, as a child, he was a car exhaust sniffer.
So, because I want to change the subject, what have you guys been thinking about the there has been quite a bit of not just drama on YouTube, but there's been some interesting little videos. I would be half tempted to talk about copper cabs knockers, but no, I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh God.
What did you think about the exchanges between Thunderfoot and Sargon of Akkad?
Slap fast.
I haven't come across it yet, but let's face it, Thunderfoot has fallen far down the rabbit hole, hasn't he?
So basically, Sargon was on a stream on V's channel talking about the shooting, and there were a lot of dark jokes made. Sargon laughed at a few, he didn't engage in the jokes making. And Thunderfoot made a video saying why he no longer wanted to be why he wanted to leave or quit the skeptical community, in air quotes. And he spliced together some clips from that stream, which, upon first listening, if you had no context, sounded a bit dubious. So Sargon replied and pointed out that they were spliced together with no timestamps, no context, and that they were pretty shit.
Yeah.
And then Thunderfoot then made a response to that saying, "Why I'm glad I left the skeptical community." And I think he's made another video today called Sargon of Akkad Busted, where he shows how he made the video. But I think the problem he's made the assumption that the bit that Sargon's gotten angry about is him laughing, and not the fact that the two separate clips, when played together, they're from two complete different areas of the stream entirely, and not from when Sargon was laughing, which then leads to another clip. And yeah, Thunderfoot fucked up.
Yeah.
I think Thunderfoot's been drinking his own experiments.
Well,
He's definitely fallen down. Like I said, he's fallen down the SJW rabbit hole, hasn't he?
Well, I don't think he will. I think it's more he just. I don't know how to explain it. I don't think he'd ever fall down that because it doesn't work for him. I think that he was looking for an out and it seemed to be almost like he was trying to make something up. And it was kind of weird.
Like,
I don't quite understand why he decided.
Either way, I have lost the respect I had for the guy.
I still respect his science work because it's all quite good, but his politics discussions, are terrible.
Yeah. This all started off with Brexit with him, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really mind why people voted to remain. His was very self-serving, which is understandable because the funding for what he does would be an issue, I guess. And that's not so great if there is no money being invested into what he does. But I don't think like this recent thing seemed to be very. I don't know. I almost like there was some moral compass going off, and it seemed like an excuse to then make that video.
Seems to be very childish.
By the way, if I'd lost the number of subs he lost, I'd be crying right now that I destroyed my channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's got hundreds of thousands, so it's not so horrific. But for me, that would be my entire channel gone.
Yeah. What annoys me most of all about it, though, all of this, is whenever you criticize Thunderfoot on his politics, people usually say, "Oh, you liked him when he was talking about science. Is that because you agreed with him?" No, it's because he does things like this.
Yep.
And he blatantly ignores the double standards he has. Like, for example, he was talking about, they're using this shooting to push a narrative. What about the stabbing of Joe Cox? Was that pushing a narrative?
Oh my God!
When he joined it to Brexit. I mean, come on.
That shitty little thing Morrissey, the singer, said that politicians are never victims of terrorism or something, and then someone pointed out that or extremism or something, whatever it was that of violence or some shit, and it was like, you do remember Joe Cox, right? You do remember that? I was just
I remember Joe Cox.
With Thunderfoot though, the difference between like when he talks about politics or social justice, or politics and social, and then on the other side you have science and social justice for the most part, or feminism, I guess, is that with the science there's an answer, a conclusive, definitive answer that can be proven. But with politics, there does seem to be this nuance, and it causes that's where we have all these different political ideas, and it just makes it very difficult to have an absolute answer, which is really irritating.
Some of it is also down to the delivery as well. Like, for example, I agree with the general message of his Sarkeesian videos, but I think, to be honest, most of them are absolute dog shit. They're fucking awful for the most part. Yeah. Whenever I watch the Anita videos, aside from the funding ones, which were pretty top-notch, I think, whenever I watch those, I find myself thinking, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? And it also gets really competitive as well.
It's not what you said, it's how you said it.
Yeah.
Like a couple arguments. It's like people who have issues with Tilde's videos. The most common issue isn't what he does, because what he does is perfect. For the most part, it's down to how he says it.
It's his delivery.
Yeah, it's 100% pure snark, and congratulations to tap into the infinite well of snark.
Yeah, it's not that. It's yes, I do agree with. He brings up very intelligent and valid points, but his videos are far too long, and his delivery, to me, this personal opinion, to me, his videos are boring.
As a boring person, I'd like to disagree with you.
I don't find your videos boring.
Give it time.
Not boring, Omegon.
I will bore the brains out of both of you.
Yeah, but you mean in a literal sense, so you can feed.
Yes.
You already want to bore me anyway, Omegon, so that's nothing different.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been able to watch a a Thunderfoot political video
Oh,
all
that's
the
a
way
good point.
through.
Relies on rhetoric and character assassination. That does seem to be the trend. You got a point, Roman.
Yeah.
I'd say so there. And also, if I recall correctly, I watched his video today, which is kind of weird because usually I don't engage in drama because I think it's fucking, get over yourself, girls. But what ticked me off earlier, right, was he said that Sargon was taking his laugh out of context. But the issue was what Sargon originally pointed out, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because I didn't really pay too much attention, it was in the background. He was more concerned with the fact that Thunderfoot put two clips together and made it seem like some sort of constant stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah.
I watched. I finally finished watching all these videos because I thought it was amusing.
He tried to pull Michael Rowlands, didn't he?
He did with the rape thing for Bearing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just left a little comment on Thunderfoot's when it was like only had 1,200 views at the time and had one comment thread and it was just his initial comment pinned and 250 replies. I just put a separate comment. Can you two please just get in a boxing ring, go a few rounds and then hate fuck each other to completion, please? Because I think that's what you both need.
Generally, I think Sargon is to political commentary what Thunderfool is to science.
So you think he's a power bottom too, then, yeah?
No, I think Sargon is good on his political commentary. Thunderfoot is good on science.
You should see how
to be honest.
some of the people ream the way that
yeah.
Sargon's treated on Twitter with some of his political beliefs. He gets reamed by some of those more regressive idiots.
I don't agree with everything he says, but he does try and present an intelligent and well-informed opinion.
That's why I laugh so much whenever there's, the SJWs and they have this circle jerk on Twitter and they're like, oh my god, did you see the Sargon video? It's so fucking stupid. It's like, did you watch the video?
What I love is I love the blanket things. They'll get a comment from somebody and it's nasty. And then they'll say, to all anti-feminists, thank you. Like, why are you being sarcastic about this comment to all anti? Do what other people who you call anti-feminists do. Treat the individual, not the group. Address the individual, not the group, because apparently it's impossible to address all feminists because those goalposts just magically move. Last I heard, they were in Narnia.
Well, the thing is with feminists, though, I'm just going to address this because otherwise I'd be a bit of a hypocrite. But the thing is with feminists is I do hold, at this point, all feminists accountable for feminist actions. Because how I see it, we've had the Duluth model, we've had all of these different things being pushed in, whilst the silent majority, quote unquote, remains silent about these constant things which feminists do. So I think they do bear some responsibility. But that's very different from...
Can you not remember the Cleveland child abuse scandal? Dr. Marietta Higgs.
No.
That was an early example of what the Duluth model, because they were using this disproven method to test for child abuse, and there was hundreds of families had the children snatched by the social workers. This was in the 80s, and really that should have sent a strong message to government that social politics should not be involved in social work. For one thing, it should. In fact, social politics should be just left in the dustbin where it belongs.
It's fucking annoying as well because this theory wasn't tested, even in the smallest place somewhere. But it was pushed in, and now it's practically nationwide in the US. Even though it wasn't even tested. I'm really fucking disgusted with this sort of, I'm not sure if I'd call it social experimentation, Well, it is actually, isn't it? It's social experimentation. If it goes wrong, then oh well, that's that's a few 100,000 lives which are ruined because of this social experimentation. Oh well, just I know I'm all over the place over it, but it just really annoys me when people think that rather than testing something in the smallest place and then working the way up at the very least, rather they institute it nationwide and fuck everyone over with their daft politics. Sorry,
agree
small
with you.
tangent. Just why would you do that though? And I'm struggling to see the incentive, because if it all goes wrong, then you've got egg on your face.
Yep.
Maybe they want the egg on the face.
Or maybe they think they are so deluded that they truly believe they will succeed.
Duluth model.
Yeah, then they handle out statistics, and whenever any side ladles out statistics, I keep thinking about what a friend of mine told me, who actually went to university for statistics. You can make statistics say whatever you want, and they actually, as part of his university course, one small exercise they had to do that, literally use statistics to say anything they want. He didn't go into specifics, but he proved with statistics that in London, 40% of people in London are from Mars, 30% were undead, and the remaining 30% didn't actually exist.
That's
social
a very good
construct.
point. That's lying by mission. The thing is with not politics, sorry. The thing is with statistics, though, is this is a big reason why I like to use raw statistics in all of my most of my videos. Sometimes I get a bit lazy, to be honest. But yeah, that's why I like to do that and have broad overviews rather than these pinpointed statistics, which exclude different things, or these articles to explain these statistics for you, rather than looking at the actual data yourself, which I see a lot. But I have seen that.
I think one of the most sorry, I'm stepping on you. Please continue.
No, it's fine. There's one more issue that I have when it comes to statistics, especially for domestic violence. It's possible that social policy would, be instituted like it has for the Duluth model, and would then affect these statistics afterwards. Because, for example, if you don't have as many men going, let me rephrase that. If you don't have as many women going to jail for the crime of, beating up their husband, or, stabbing their husband with a weapon, which, is more likely to happen with women. But if you don't have that as much, then feminists can look at that and they can say, oh, look, men are the violent ones. But is that necessarily because of the structure of the system already put in place, being the Duluth model, which, targets men?
Well, one thing I remember from my childhood, because you hear your parents talking, when it came to violent relationships, generally the woman would attack the man while he was asleep. As I remember my parents talking about one of the neighbours, because her husband had gone to hospital. And apparently she battered him into unconsciousness while he was asleep in bed with a frying pan.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That
doesn't sound healthy.
Dating anyone like that.
They both used to be constantly at each other's throats. Proves another thing which is always said by honest experts about domestic violence. It's 90% reciprocal.
I think I remember reading that. It's something like, I'm not sure of the exact statistic, but women are more likely to actually initiate the violence.
I think it's roughly 50-50 in violent
maybe we're
relationships.
Hold on.
But
One
of the statistics
it
that
was
makes me
women
laugh.
initiating, but then it started to become even when it came to actually, responding.
I think one of the statistics that makes
just
me
sure.
laugh the most is the one comes up. Oh, 80% of rapes are not reported. How the fuck do they know?
Okay, right.
They're not reported. How do you know?
This is how I like to retort to this. So according to the CDC, right, where you get a load of these claims coming from, if you look at it, you can see that men are forced to penetrate at pretty much the same rate as women are raped. But it's just not counted as rape. It's something like 1,000 difference. I'm not sure of the exact amounts.
But if the woman involved wants it to, it can be counted as her being raped.
Yeah. Hold on, though. Considering that feminists like to say that men are pressured into silence and don't come forward for, domestic violence and rape and whatever, because maybe not so much rape because, they don't admit that, but assuming, admitting that they do that and they blame it on toxic masculinity, pressuring men to not do that, how do we know that more men than women aren't coming forward because they feel pressured not to? If we're going to play into this, we're not going to look at these statistics, we're just going to speculate sort of thing. How do we know that more men, in other words, aren't keeping quiet because of this social peer pressure? Hopefully I haven't butchered my words there.
Nope. You came across quite
No,
eloquently.
you didn't butcher too much. You're fine.
Yeah, like I said, you came across quite eloquently. And apparently
English is my worst subject.
Apparently Vipersword is only free for Omegon.
That I am.
Yeah, I'm having to pay with a fucking free ride in the Batmobile.
You offered.
Yep, and Bennehh, Laura Bones has said you make good sense.
That's good then.
She's a Geordie though, so don't pay too much attention.
She's a very educated. She's a very educated Geordie.
No, I'm not. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot.
No, Laura Bones in the chat. You're not a Geordie.
No, I'm stupid. I'm an idiot.
By the way, actually,
yes, Laura, you tell Squidface what to do.
Whilst we're on the topic of feminism, I'm doing a really, really big video, and this is not me self-promoting. I'm wondering if you have any idea. Yeah, I didn't intend it.
It's a very definition of self-promoting.
Yeah, I'm not intending it like that. I'm just giving you the context. Do we have any examples that I may have missed of feminists being absolutely cancerous?
Well, yeah, I mean, aside from anything Katie Smurthwaite says.
or Clementine Ford, Josh.
Oh, talking about Katie Smurthwaite, a friend of mine actually went to that comedy festival in Scotland where she was at. He says she was on stage and she got this lad stood up to take the mickey out of her, and she tried to put him down, and she ended up with 5 other hecklers. And the hecklers were funnier than she was.
Success, to be honest.
The thing is, though, the hecklers were funnier than she was. The hecklers were getting applauded.
She used to take a few lessons from someone like Jimmy Carr, who just slams them.
Yeah, she wants to just stop pretending she's a comedian.
Yeah, jokes aren't very. Maybe it's the delivery, or the forced nature of her humor. I'm sure it's for someone, just not the majority that possess a funny bone.
No, I think it's a fact that she looks like the love child of Mr. Punch as well.
Right.
Oh God, I've realised something. Even right down to the Adam's apple, she looks like Riley Dennis.
Riley Dennis, when Riley Dennis actually looked like a lesbian, so back when Riley was Justin, or Riley now?
Yes, to both.
Yeah.
Same face, like same Adam's apple. If anything. The only difference is the accent.
Yeah. I'll resist the urge to mock her appearance too much.
Or as I like
But
to call
seriously.
Riley, Frank and Barbie Horseface.
Oh God.
That's something we haven't talked about yet, actually. Have we? Well, I'm not sure if we have in a previous video on this channel. What do you think about Lacey Green and the recent red pilling, so to say?
I was happy to.
Yeah.
It's a good.
I was happy to
sign
sit
for
back
be
on this
wary.
and not. Sorry, go on.
I think it's a good sign, but be wary. You never know.
Yeah, I'd agree.
But either way,
I was happy to sit back and wait, much like the shooting thing. Just sit back, wait, because I wasn't convinced. She's been talking to people, and that's great because that's what she wanted to do. I don't think she's been red pilled. I think she's just doing what needed to happen sooner, and that was discussions between people with differing ideas.
yeah,
Yeah.
And in this instance, it was feminism and social justice, and anti-feminism and anti-social justice. I think the fact that she's willing to have those talks is good. What the motivation is, I don't know. It might be a big project she's working on. Who knows? I don't really care.
either
I'm
way,
very interested though to see how this plays out, though.
either way, she's going to get kicked out of the echo chamber community. It's happening already. She's getting it. Yeah,
Well, she did get flayed, or she got flayed by a few of them, and
Yeah.
I am surprised that she wasn't blocked by Shives.
I wouldn't be surprised if she has been. We know what Shivesy's like. Hell, even Milo Stewart, but he put out an apology video about her earlier videos.
Yeah, I saw Milo's video, and then I saw Sean Head's little gender video, and I was like, "Oh, June, what are you doing?"
I've stopped watching Sean Head.
I like Sean Head. He's funny
I
when
do.
she's actually like trying to be funny, and not what she was doing in that video, which was not so great.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Armored Skeptic has kind of turned me off of both of them.
Oh, dude. Damn him.
He seems to be going less and less skeptic, doesn't he?
It's not so much that, I just don't like his fucking unfunny skits.
Yeah, you told me that a year ago, and he still does them, and you're like, fucking skits.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth, Benny. You're just jealous of his girlfriend and the fact that he looks like Brendan
Yeah,
Fraser.
clearly.
No.
I have a girlfriend who's much
Batman.
nicer looking.
He's not jealous that Armored Skeptic's girlfriend. He's just jealous of Armored's he wants to be Armored Skeptic. He wants to look like a Canadian fat dad Backstreet Boy.
Armored Skeptic looks like Brendan Fraser. If Brendan Fraser like relaxed and stopped exercising and shit.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think June is still funny. It's just and Skeptic can be funny. He did a really good video on free will recently. That was really good. And June does do good videos whenever she can be bothered to make a video. But this new one, I don't really mind Milo's apology because that just showed progress and personal development. That's fine.
Yeah. I think
but
she's
with
gonna-
June's response, there was something about gender in that response, and that tickled me. That she was talking about feelings, and there was a subject of the Canadian law that just came in. Was it that hate speech law thing?
Yeah, Bill C-16.
Yeah, that came up, and that amused me. How thick she managed to come across.
Oh, Jay Willie's series has got a message for you, Benny. He says, don't forget that feminists made it illegal for gay men to be parents in large parts of Europe.
I'm going to look into that because I haven't heard about it yet. But if that is true, then genuinely thank you for that. 'Cause that's a huge...
That is, if true, that's astonishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to I'm a skeptic, he's at his best when he's being serious.
He's at his best when he just shuts up.
Tell us something, Benny. Tell the truth. Or you're either jealous of him or you're jealous of June.
I'm not jealous of either of them. I just really don't like pretentious people.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
fair
it.
enough.
So, and I don't like his humour.
We can't all like the same things.
No, but
We are not the Borg.
Too hard. You'd know if I was jealous. Let's just say that.
Fair enough.
Oh, I've heard him jealous before, and it was something I did that you liked. You started typing.
I remember
time.
typing that to you, but I don't remember what it was about.
It was a Halloween costume I put on my avatar.
Would that be like you dressed as a normal, a normal person?
The
No,
joke is
his Halloween costume will be his face reveal.
never happening.
What did you do?
Never
The other
happened.
face
No,
reveal.
it was a Joker costume, and you rather liked it.
Yes. Hey, Viper, what would you do if he did a face reveal and he looked exactly like his avatar?
Mine just went back because I don't know how to answer.
Or you don't want to?
He already knows what I'd do to him anyway. We've discussed this on many occasions. It's involved
Oh god! And with that, I'm
sandwiches.
fucking hell.
Right.
Do you want to show yourselves, or we're just going to end this now?
Shouldn't have let me on.
It's entirely up to you.
Lesson learned. Actually, do you want to... Okay, go on.
Before we do finish, hold on, let me just paste this clipboard. Sorry, I've already got something
what are you doing?
Right, let me send this to you now on Discord. Men's domestic violence shelters are a misuse of non-profit funding. You've probably heard of it, but fucking hell.
Wait, hang on. What funding do they get anyway?
You mean the men's domestic violence shelter, singular?
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Well, of course.
There's only one in Arkansas, which for some reason is pronounced as that, not Arkansas, but whatever. But
yeah, let's not get into that one. But hang on. What are the stats for domestic violence in Arkansas?
I'm not sure about Arkansas, but I know that US-wide it is practically 50-50.
So in that
UK,
regard,
the
40, fact there's only the fact that one shelter is a misuse of non-profit funding when there are so few shelters anyway.
Yeah.
It's only recently people finally starting to talk about the subject.
In the UK, from what there was a video about it. A guy tried to get help because he was being abused by his wife, and all the helplines would do was try and get him onto a course to handle his abuse of his wife.
Yeah.
They do that in the UK as well. I remember that on their, it was some government helpline, and they had a helpline for women. And that was, if you're a victim of domestic violence, call this helpline. And they had one for men as well. That was, if you fear that you could become an abuser, or if you are an abuser, call this helpline. Incredibly sexist. I'll bring it up, actually, when it loads.
So look.
It's taking ages.
Present this to everyone for a second anyway, just for a sec. The men's domestic violence shelters are misuse of non-profit funding. Open, according to the article, first shelter for men survivors in the country. Someone who's posting these happily. That's nice. To Debbie Downer, acknowledge that male survivors are a real important thing, and males face stigma and other gender issues that women don't. Where's the but? In the case of the Batesville shelter, the funds says that the other option was a transitional shelter for women leaving the emergency shelter program. So there was no service for men behind that or beside that.
No.
In fact, 22 says ongoing funds. This is stupid. I felt like the Willy Bumblebee now. I'm speaking and replying with "it's stupid." Jesus Christ! I'm gonna stop that before I say "stupid" again.
You're probably going to say "stupid" again for this. The service provides support and counselling.
Oh, I remember this.
Family and domestic violence. And
I know which this is. Yeah.
Yeah. Australia.
Becoming abusive. Yeah.
Mm.
That's the Australia thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have they removed that?
Oh, I remember it. Women are the victims, men are the perpetrators. That's beautiful.
Yep.
It's disgusting.
And where
Did
are
they
the
also-
outcries?
It's sickening.
Hold on. They've changed the layout a little bit.
The horrible thing is with this thing, I mean, they're teaching it to
Yeah.
children as soon as they enter school these days.
Yes, it's still the same.
Men are toxic, evil monsters, and women are like,
Delicate
almost
little
divine.
flowers.
And almost divine creatures. They're going to actually create the monsters that they're afraid of.
Mm.
Unbelievable.
And when they keep saying, men are raised to hate women, they never seem to finish the logical path that who raises the children? Women do.
I always wondered that, yeah. Who is raising them? But then
So-
again, feminists will be like, oh, but it's patriarchy influencing these women. So you can't really win, because everything is down to
Constant
this
blame game.
Yeah.
amorphous collective of the patriarchy. Or this, well, it depends on which feminist you ask, really, because they can't even get that.
Yeah,
you know?
and when you tell them that this actually includes feminist mothers, you say, oh, well, it's internalized misogyny.
You sound like a scouser.
Fuck you, or I'll find you and I will kill you. I will rip out your face tests.
I'll fucking kill you. I swear down, I fucking have you.
I swear on my mum.
I just think,
Let's have a go at that gash.
just think, you're a cut price cockney, so shut up.
Cut price cockney. Unbelievable. All right. I'm getting super tired, so I'm going to end this in a minute.
By
Well,
the
he's
way,
one
I
to be a
agree.
point.
We're not Europeans. We're actually Atlanticans.
No, we're
Right.
We're British Islanders. There are actually genetic markers in the indigenous British population. By British population, I mean Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and England, that do not occur in Europe. You know, indigenous European populations.
Cool.
By the way, just before we end, I think that this is very, very pressing. Did you know that Ireland and also Iceland are just a sea apart from each other?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so fucking gay.